We are going to start another shiur, a continuation of the previous shiurim that we had. We will be speaking shiur tips on beautiful marriage, shiur number 12. Baruch Hashem, may we be able to continue learn together and share learning of Torah together and prosper. Bezrat Hashem.
Amen. Amen.
Hashem should give refuah shlema to all of Cholei Amo Yisrael, especially all those who are nimtzaim b'tzara, found in anguish and pain. Hashem should have rachmanu klal Yisrael is in tzar. Hashem should have pity on all of us. Okay, let us proceed further. Just to wrap up from the previous show, we spoke about the concept. We spoke about the concept of Shiva Nikiim. And we said over there that Shiva Nikiim, as we said, has to have the qualification of 3 C's. You have to have clean, 7 clean days. You have to have consecutive. They have to be one after another. And another one is, we said they have to be complete. Now, complete let's say a little bit more about it because we didn't explain as we were supposed to really finish explaining it. Complete means, in order for a woman to finish her 7 days, they have to be completed as 7 days. She cannot say, I'll keep 3 days now, or my husband is going away, okay, when he's coming back, I'll finish the other 4 later. No. She has to complete all of them till the end. Don't take your mind off of those 7 clean days. Continue them since the time you start till the time you finish. If the husband is not in town, we'll talk about that in the future. Let's say on the 7th day she finds out that the husband is not going to be there. Okay, so complete your 7 days. And because you finished your 7 clean days, you are done. All that's left to do is when your husband is going to be coming back from town, when the husband is coming back, all the wife will have to do is just do her preparations for the mikveh and go in immerse. But one thing for sure she gained is she completed those 7 clean days. Last, it comes to a point where she does not complete those 7 clean days, she'll have to start everything from the beginning. Why do that? Finish everything till the end. Always complete it, and then, we'll worry about the rest later. But complete those 7 days. They have to be clean, they have to be consecutive, and they have to be complete. And complete means the way they're supposed to be. By the way, just remember, in order for them to be complete, every bdika, especially the first day, and especially the 7th day, those 2 days are very vital, that it's going to be, if she doesn't do her bdikot on time, they're not going to be complete. They have to be done before sundown. Both, the first day before sundown, the 7th day before sundown. The other days also have to be before sundown. But if she snoozed on the other days, there's always a leniency. The rabbi could decide and say that, no, it's okay, it's fine this time. But don't be from those fools who say, you know what, it's okay, then it shouldn't be coming to a point of saying, oh, so then it's not important. No, they are very important. What has to be done is that you have to remember the bidikot are always done before sundown. Have to be during the day. Yes.
Question: if a girl, a woman, she feels the flow coming, okay? It's right before sundown. But does she have to actually see it, or she can just feel it?
She has to see it.
What if she doesn't see it? What if she just sees it after
she
sundown?
Only starts being officially nida from the second she sees it. Because a lot of times what she will feel, something is flowing, it could be a discharge, which is a pure discharge.
But it doesn't really matter, right? Because then it only starts on the next day.
Yes, if you see it, whenever you see it, that will be the first day.
But you said,
if you saw it before sundown, that's day 1. If you saw it after,
day 1?
Yes. If you saw it after sundown, it's going to be the next day, day 1.
Wait, hold on.
Again, if she saw her flow, her ketam, the stain, whatever she found that renders her being nida. If she saw it before sundown, that's day 1 already.
That's review. That's day 1.
That's day 1 already.
So if it was a Friday right before sundown.
So Fridays are day 1.
Friday's
Shabbat
day
is going to be day 2.
Thursday she'll immerse.
Really?
So before that day.
And if she didn't see it, if she just felt it, and then after sundown she looked at
Feeling
it.
is nothing.
But
Feeling
she knows.
Nothing.
She knows.
It's nothing. We only go after
Okay,
what
but
she sees.
She looked after sundown. She looked and she saw.
And then it's after sundown.
Why? But she felt it.
It's after sundown.
Rabbi, didn't you say?
It goes after sundown.
Didn't you say that today the women even know when their bleeding starts?
They can assume that when it starts.
Okay, well with the pain.
But we don't go. We don't have those
So
hargashot
the
of
question,
old times like we used to have.
We're allowed to live with them at that time
When
they feel that.
okay, we will talk about that in a different time. That is a shiur, the last one we're going to have, which is the shiur of the calendars. If you want to know a little bit more of detail, I will explain it to you after the shiur. It's not for now. It's only going to mix people up. I've explained to you again clearly. Get this thing clear again. In order for the bidikot to be considered a bidika, a checking has considered to be a proper checking, which is an internal examination that she does. Right, circling in a circle motion, right, circular motion. It has to be done before sundown for them to be considered complete 7 days. If they're done after sundown, you lost it. Please do yourselves a favor. Put yourself every reminder possible and have them. We as men have to be on top of these things too. Call the wife. Say, listen, I know you're very busy, but please make sure to find time that you go and take care of this. Please go do it right now if you have a moment. Say if you know for sure you're not going to be able to do it now, tell me when you're going to be. You think you'll be ready to go, so I can call you again. Just to remind you, because Baruch Hashem, they're very busy today. They do much more than Baruch Hashem. Sometimes even more than the men do.
Make it sound like we're not busy.
We are busy, Baruch Hashem, too, doing nonsense. Let's go further. Okay, this thing is supposed to be our priority. Is thing number one. Okay, that is more that's more important to us than anything else out there. Let us proceed further. We are going to.
I said, who thinks about this stuff?
Who thinks about this stuff? It's unfortunate that people don't think about these things. It's very unfortunate.
The woman is supposed to think about it.
Again, I'll tell you again. It's very unfortunate that we do not think about these things. If we were a little bit more normal, I really say it, a little bit more normal, a little bit is needed. Too much is no good. It's dangerous. A little bit more normal, only then we would actually realize how good it is for us that we are on top of these things. We have to be the ones to be calling and to inquiring and to finding out. Don't throw it onto her. Women, Baruch Hashem, they are. Besides the fact that they are busy with doing whatever they think is busy. Believe me, you ask her, what were you doing? I was very busy today. Doing what? I was sitting on the couch and relaxing. Whatever it is that they have. Baruch Hashem, what they call busy, we might even say it's a shtuyot, nonsense.
But you don't tell them that.
No, we don't tell them these things because they think differently than we do. And say, Baruch Hashem, you sat on the couch, I see Baruch Hashem, you rested up. Okay, but whatever it is. Long story short, you call and you be on top of it and you say, listen, honey, it's the first day. Make sure to please in the morning when you wake up after sunrise, do your first bidika. Towards the end of the day, when you run to pray mincha, pick up the phone and say, honey, I'm going to pray mincha and I remember it's before Shkiyah. Please go and do your internal exam. And this will be our day one completed. And you do this every single day for 7 days. Believe me, they'll only appreciate it. You'll only show how much you care and how much you want her to complete those days properly and to get the mitzvah. And believe me, you assist her in this mitzvah, Hashem will grant it to you. How do you think that we men could fulfill these 613 mitzvot? Every person has to fulfill all the mitzvot in the Torah. But this mitzvah pertains to women only. No, but if you assist somebody in that mitzvah, it's like you doing the mitzvah also. You'll get the sachar for it. But anyhow, let us proceed further. We are, Baruch Hashem, going a little bit further, and we're going to point of knowing how to act during those days of nidut, those days of separation, that a woman separates from her husband and her husband separates from her. It's a separation for both. A lot of times they for some reason, the ones who really take it hard is the women. Oh, I feel left alone, I feel very lonely. It's not only you that feel very lonely, the husband feels very lonely too. He's also lonely. He's also lonely. And a husband should say it, make it clear and across. After a wife comes back home, tell her, you should know. During those days, I felt very lonely. Say, oh, it's good to have you by my side. Oh, throw in a word. Believe me, the truth is, we are more physically driven than they are. And if we have to talk to them, talk. They don't understand sign languages. They're very smart, but they want to hear it also. You tell her, you should know. I don't know what about you, but I felt very lonely. Every time this thing happens, I feel very lonely. It's not depression is for goyim, but let's proceed further anyhow. Let's go on.
What, during the time you cannot tell her these things?
No. We will talk about that right now. Let's go into this whole thing. Yaakov, we are on the ball, Baruch Hashem here. It says in the pasuk in the Torah, "Ve'elisha b'nidatu mata." Parashat Vayikra, Sefer Vayikra, Parashat Acharei Mot. It says over there in Perek Yudchet, pasuk Yutet. It says "Ve'elisha b'nidatu mata," and to a woman at the time of her impurity of nida, lo tikrav legalot elvata. Do not come close. Do not approach near to uncover her nakedness. Now here is the thing. Torah, if you look at it specifically, never said don't go sleeping. Don't go, right? Living together. It says don't come close. Stay, keep the distance. Lo tikrav. And Chazal learned from here that what it means is coming to imply that it's coming to teach you that you're not allowed to do anything that will draw to any closeness. Which means a gadel, a fence of roses though, not thorn bushes. Fence of roses. Roses. We cut the thorns.
Looks nice.
We go take it to the guy who knows how to fix up everything. He cuts it. But anyhow, let us proceed further. This is something important to know, that from the time when a woman, she becomes a nidah, she is rendered to be a nidah, until the time that she completes the 7 clean days, and she goes to the mikveh, and the mikveh immersion was perfectly proper. The balani, the woman that saw her immersing, saw that everything went underwater. Everything. Because we know if a person immerses and one little part of the finger is sticking out, a hair is staying on top of the water, didn't go inside. Long hair. Right? Didn't go inside, the immersion is invalid.
Who gets the aver?
The balanit has to be the one to tell her, your immersion was invalid, do it again. Do it again. Okay? That's what the balanit is there for. She has to make sure that the water covers the body completely. Everything goes on the water. Okay? And he has to make sure that the immersion was proper, and if she says kosher, so then she comes out, the immersion is complete. Yes.
What about your feet?
The feet, she must pick up her feet while she immerses.
She's gonna jump up or something?
It has to be all in air. If you realize, if water has to come, everywhere water can come to, has to have that ability that it should come there. Which means she cannot go like this. She cannot go like this. Right? She has to make sure that the hands are loose. Like this. The finger is a little bit, she can't go like this. A lot of people, they have this fear, right? When they go underwater, they go crazy. Right? Or they close their nose, no good. Or they close their mouth tightly. Or they close their eyes tightly. Or some people, they go like this, right? They go like this and they also no good.
Eyes no good?
The eyes cannot be closed tightly.
In the mikveh?
They have to be closed like this.
No wrinkles.
Like when you're sleeping, and you're not really sleeping, and you're really watching what your family is doing in the back, not in the background, right in front of you, right? And you're pretending you're sleeping, but you're really like, looking inside like this, and trying to see how, you picking on them. That's how it's supposed to be. Okay, you don't have to go like this. You don't have to go say, okay, B'tchilu urchimu, vayavor Hashem al palav. Right? Swallow the water. No. It doesn't have to be this way. Not supposed to. You're supposed to keep your mouth,
so
give an ability
water is there for them to come? How deep is their mikvah?
Very deep. Enough for them to go in there.
Because if it's not that deep and they have to bend down inside, so they're going to be bending the knees, and this part can be...
No, they're not going to close their knee all the way. It doesn't work that way. There's enough water usually. In the ladies' mikveh there's plenty of water. Usually when they get off the last step, they're already drowning. That's how high the water is. They make sure Don't worry, there's a lifeguard. There's a lifeguard on the side.
For one person, that's right.
Huh?
It's for one person. Probably.
There's plenty of room for 3-4 people inside that mikveh. Sure, there's plenty of room. They go one at a time. Sure, nobody. Huh? We will talk about that.
Before you go in.
No, we will talk about that soon. We will talk about that soon. There is
before you go into the room.
Bracha before she goes into the room.
That's what I'm saying.
Sure, because it's considered to be a bet merchatz. But if it's not a steamy room, if it's, let's say, just
you're uncovered.
but you uncovered it. So it's like a bet merchatz. Okay, you have a point. We have to go through the halachot thoroughly. The Sfaradim, the way they do it, Yaakov points out the right way. We do the belacha outside, but we do not allow to talk. We go in and we go inside. The head has to be covered while you make a belacha. Sure, of course, has to be done this way. Let's go further.
And if it's not, it's not a good bracha.
I don't think it's bracha levatala. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. But better off to be covered. That is the way to do it. The way to do it is perfectly like that. Okay, perfectly. But you should know, not everywhere do they provide these kind of things. You know, they have those special coverings that they have that they're able to put. Like the hospital has, you know, those doctors wear them on their heads, loose ones. So that is very, very something that's used in many mikvahs. They cost pennies. They cost, especially those that people wear when they go to, let's say, those intensive care units, and they have to cover themselves up.
C-sections.
Right, and they have those things they put on top of their head to cover all their hair and to germ-free, as they call it. Okay, let us proceed further. Let's get into this concept of laws of separation. The laws of separation is called something called halachot. Now, I want to make this clear for people to understand. This is not rabbinical. This is the Oraita. It's all Torah laws. Okay? It's all Torah laws. It's not chumrot. It's all halachot. It's halacha lemaaseh. Don't say, oh, this is a chumrah. No chumrot when it comes to halachot. Okay? Understood?
Yes.
Clear? Okay. Now, we have to get into this concept of understanding is how far this goes. People have to know that if you look at the end of this parasha, when it goes a little bit further, it talks about this concept of, 1 second. Okay, so we explained that these things are halachot, they are the oraita, they're not drabanan, they're not chumrot. Don't get any ideas. This is all law, Torah that's brought down, Moshe Rabbeinu brought from Har Sinai. These halachot apply to Moshe Rabbeinu, these halachot apply to Aaron HaKohen, these halachot apply to all of the Chachamei Ador, Rabbi Yehuda HaNasi, and all the Chachamim. Okay, let us proceed further. Now, you should know that these distances that we have, the al-chakot, the separation, is really all there for our own good. It's good. It's for the good of the man, and it's also for the good of the woman. It's believe me, it's for our own benefit. Now I explained it. First of all, we men, because we get to miss them, we build within ourselves the excitement and also the waiting for her to come back. That's very important to have that. Because when you have something always constantly available to you, you get tired of it. How much can you eat the same ice cream? If I give you the same ice cream to eat, one cone after another, once you eat 2, 3, 4, you say, "Ich, don't give it to me anymore."
Not the same with same flavor.
And you wait. Believe me, if I give you 3, 4 buckets of the same ice cream, you will not eat it. You're going to say, "Do me a favor, I had so much, I just don't have the taste for it anymore. I don't want it. I want something else. Maybe a different flavor I'll eat." You have to have a change. There has to be that separation. But also good for the women too. You should know. It's a gula for shalom bayit. It's very important that there's going to be more peace in the house. It's needed. I'll explain to you something. Somebody once approached me and he says, "I don't understand all these archakot. For what? Separations. What is it already?" I said to him, can I explain something to you? He says to me, "What will it do to me already? Why if I pass something over to her? If I hand her something directly into her hand, or even if I touch her, what? I'm going to go crazy? What am I going to go? I'm going to jump. I said to him, let me explain something to you. You are saying something to me that how it's really supposed to be. You said, what, am I going to jump on her? And I said, And what do you think how it's supposed to be? Of course you're supposed to jump on her. There's supposed to be a lightning striking right there. You have to have the electricity working. It's like putting your hands into a socket. What's going to happen? You get electrocuted.
It's not kind of being animalistic?
No, it's not. It's not like that at all. You have to have that excitement. Why is she what is she? Is she like a chair that you're touching? I give you a story that happened, a true story that happened. I say this to the Khatanim, I'm sure you guys, some guys already heard the story, but anyone who learned with me heard the story. Listen to the story. There was a story, a Khatan and Kala, not religious, irreligious couple, they were about to get married. They were hanging out for who knows how many years. And it came time to get married, the rabbi said to them, if you want me to marry you off, they say, we know everything about it. So no, he says, we're not talking about what you know, what the street knows. We're talking about what Chachamim know, what spirituality behind such a life. And he said, okay, fine. So one guy says, Rabbi, I don't understand why you're teaching me all these things. What do I need it for? Why? What am I going to do? Am I crazy? Am I normal? So Rabbi says to him, no problem. Okay, let me ask you something. Psychology. Okay? The Rabbi takes a cup. He pours him a cup of ginger ale, right? He says to him, take the cup of ginger ale. Take it. Nah, take it. So he says, okay. So he picked it up. He says, the Rabbi tells him, tell me, what do you feel? He says, what do I feel? Nothing. It's a cup of ginger ale. What am I supposed to feel? So the Rabbi says to him, do you mean to tell me that she's a cup of ginger ale too? And what do you think happened at that moment? She turned to him like this, and she is looking at him and she says, no, come on, say, I'm waiting. I'm waiting, come on, say what, tell the Rabbi, what, am I a cup of ginger ale? She tells him, keeping everything, that's it. That was the end of that story. That was the end of it, because she realized, every woman wants to know that she is something important. She's somebody valuable. Valuable, not just a cup of ginger ale, not another chair in the house, not another book in the house. What is that? You have to have. It kills me to see how people who don't keep anything, you see when they live together, there is no connection between the two at all. What holds them together, really? I see it. I went to someone's house. I knock on the door. I come in. Say, hi, how are you? How's everything? Says, little do I know, I don't care who has what kind of work schedule. He stays up alone. She does things alone. No connection whatsoever with each other. I said to him, I said, I happen to know the people. I said, how is so and so? Sleeping. Done. Finished. I said, this is not what I would want for me. There has to be that bond. More than physical bond. It's not supposed to be dead, just the bed and that's it. It doesn't go past the bed. Not supposed to be that way. That's not what it's all about. You have to have that. He says, what am I supposed to jump out? I said to him, and what do you think it's supposed to be? Do you want it to be like cold fish? Dead meat? Is that what it's supposed to be like? You want to have a partner in life where you're going to have a connection. You're going to feel a connection. You are going to feel that want to have that connection. It's not supposed to be a dead relationship. Like someone said, a famous line, you can't be cold fish throughout the day and then expect fireworks at night. Doesn't work that way. It has to be something very special. Yes, when it comes, you know how they say, when it comes, two fingers coming in contact and you see the lightning bolt, you're getting electrocuted.
They have to be charged before.
You have to be very well charged before. And the charge comes from these 7 days. From these 5 plus 7, the separation that there is. They're waiting for one another. Believe me, if you don't have any contact whatsoever, you have to be normal. I'm not talking about when you turn your back on each other. No, there has to be, you have to stay normal. But it has to be that you come to a point of physically missing one another. Wanting to have that bond, that relationship to be rebuilt, renewed all over again. And that's what these 5 plus 7 are all about. And that's why these are not restrictions. They are there for your own benefit. Like I always tell people, don't say, why is everything not allowed? No, you're allowed to not to pass things to one another. You're allowed to not to, right, eat each other's leftovers in front of each other. You are allowed to, right, not to pour a cup of wine for one another. It's allowed. It's all permissions. It's all there to be for our own benefit, for ourselves to grow.
Sleep on the same bed without touching.
That is for sure not allowed. We'll talk about all that soon. It's coming. It's coming. Okay. You should know, by the way, you should know the Kabbalah. Something that was received from the early generations, from the Chachmei Ador of the previous generation. It is brought down, that's known to be, that you should know. All those bad sicknesses and all those terrible things that happen, it all comes from not being careful when it comes to Ilchot Nida. All of it. It comes from not a healthy relationship. A lot of it. People don't keep Achakot properly, is a Chulban Bayit. There's destruction for the house. I tell you a true story. There was a Dayan, a big Talmid Chacham. He was Osek in Ilchot Gitin. He would write, be busy. He was in court. It was a court for divorce. Jewish divorce. But the rabbi, before he would go ahead and write them the letter that frees one another from living together, the rabbi would ask them one simple question. He would say, please, I've asked the husband and the wife, how was it between the two of you? Oh, we don't like each other. So, no, tell me more. So when at the time of separation, did you keep all the laws properly? And the truth came out to be, he said, no, not really. She said, no, not really. The rabbi said, a lot of times we'll advise them, go back home and keep those laws properly. For 1 month, for 2 months, for 3 months. If it doesn't work, come back. We'll do the divorce.
But they have to learn the laws first.
They have to be learning the laws. Of course, they have to be aware of these laws. Baruch Hashem, plenty of Sfarim, plenty of books on these topics, plenty of Shiurim on these topics. And it has to be done. A lot of people, they get scared. They say, whoa, so many laws. I won't be able to do all of it. Nobody's asking you to do it all.
But like the people that are not religious,
you have to do at least something.
They don't live with each other, but they sleep on the same bed.
The more I would say that for anybody who doesn't really keep, I would advise them to do one that's really, really, really important. And then one that's very, very important to do is to get the bed separate. 2 separate beds is a great beginning for these things.
What do you mean?
2 separate beds.
All the time?
When it comes to Al-Hakot, laws of separation, if you can't keep everything, but at least something they should do. At least something they have to do. They have to start something. They have to feel that the difference.
That's like the most main thing, the 2 separate beds.
2 separate beds. At least for that.
Is she allowed to sit on his bed?
Huh? We're going to get to that right now. We're getting there.
You want to get a little bit away from
We're getting there. You should know. I will bring to you a story with Tad Eliyahu.
It's kind of good. No, you want to get away also. You don't want to be always...
They have to have that separation. You can't constantly be together. It just doesn't go. It doesn't go. It just doesn't go.
Problems.
Of course it causes a lot of problems. But here is another story for you. Listen to this. The Tad Eliyahu.
Not that comfortable.
The famous Tad Eliyahu, the Midrash. Listen to this. I will tell you a story. Please pay attention. The Tad Eliyahu brings down the story with Oto Talmid. There was a story with that student. There was a story with Oto Talmid. The story goes on. It says there was a person, a big Talmid Chacham. He was a very learned person. And he lived a very short life and he died. Sudden death, he just died. His wife took his tefillin and she went from one Bet Midrash to another. And she said, please tell me, my husband, Sheshimesh Talmidei Chachamim Arbeh, that he didn't just learn Torah. He didn't just study the concepts of Torah. But he actually went and he was Meshamesh Talmidei Chachamim. He learned Torah to the greatest depth possible. He covered all of the Torah from beginning till the end. Why did he die b'chatzi yamav? Why he died in the middle of his life? There was nobody there who was able to reply anything. Nobody. Until it says, one time it says, until it says Eliyahu Navi himself came to visit her. Eliyahu Navi was sent to her. She came to her and he said to her like this, please tell me. Says, in the time of Nida, what was it between the two of you? She says to him, Chas v'shalom, Chas v'shalom. He did not lay a finger on me. Did not lay a finger. So he says, what about the days of separation? He says, she tells him, he slept with me in the same bed. He ate with me from the same plate. But you should know, no relationship. No sleeping. No, Hakol, but we didn't go that far. We never went far. So Eliyahu Navi says, Baruch HaMakom she'alago. Blessed is Hashem that he killed him. Wow. And he did not look at the Torah study and the Torah knowledge that he had. Because this is Asur. Asur, you see that these things are, you're playing with fire. Now the story with the Rokeach brings down, I forgot who he brings down, I think the Rokeach brings down the story. There was a big Talmid Chacham that passed away. And when he passed away, at his Levaya, not even 10 people came to his Levaya. His Chavruta, at Chalishudat, he was taken back. He says, I don't understand. This is what he deserves? Talmid Chacham! And he comes to burying him on the day of his Levaya, not even a minyan of people. 10 people couldn't come to a Levaya. It says that a few days after they buried him, he says, this man, he had the zechut to come. He came from Olam HaEmet and he came in a dream to his Chavruta. He told him, don't feel bad. You should know, he says. One time. He says, my wife, she passed by. This story is something to pay attention to, just to get the point of severity of the concept. Passed by me and says, and her clothing touched me, and I derived pleasure from it. I don't know if I'm saying the story there, but it says for sure, remember, it says there that her clothing touched him. And he was over on the Yisul of Dal Chakot. He says, for that Hashem did, just to atone. I shouldn't get punished in the world to come to I had to have the bizayon of when they came to my burial, that 10 people shouldn't come to my levaya even. For that alone. These things are all there for our benefits. The source of all bad that the person can have, the people don't understand. They feel that Archakot is something which is, I feel all left alone, he doesn't pay attention to me, he has nothing to do with me. You have to know how to utilize that time. That time is important for all of us to build our relationship between one another, is to know how to show her that you care for her and that you love her without saying I love you. Without saying nice things to her that makes her feel super good. Without giving her that hug. Feel her, let her have that feeling. You have to be there. Smile to her. Say nice things to her. Say, you could say, the outfit you have is beautiful. You have a great taste.
During the time of separation?
Yes! There's nothing wrong.
But then she takes it as a...
No, it's not true. It all feels just not to get carried away.
Because we don't...
Don't get carried away.
That's what I'm saying. Because we don't tell them anything.
Now, listen. I want to...
one word with a take,
Okay, I want to come to a point of explaining these concepts you should know. The laws of Archakot, I will do it with you inside. The reason why I want to do it inside because I don't want to cut corners. You see, there was one time a story they say in England, there was a story how there was a very frum person, and he had a printing company, very well off to do. Had a lot of money. Now, when he was writing when he opened up the business, he knew that one day he has to pass on the business to his children and to his grandchildren. Now, he wanted to make sure that they will keep the laws, that they shouldn't come to the point of desecrating certain laws. Shouldn't desecrate the laws of Torah. So what did he do? In the bylaws of the company, every company has its bylaws. It's like you write, like a holiday schedule. Okay? So it says on the bylaws of the company, he wrote a very interesting thing. What did he do? He wrote over there that in the bylaws of the company, one of the laws are that on Chol HaMoed, that they are not allowed to work at all. He wants to take this, he just doesn't want his grandchildren to come to a point of desecrating the Moadim. And he wrote over there that they should not work on Chol HaMoed. Guess what happened? They're closed on Chol HaMoed, but they are all being Mechalel Shabbat and Yom Tov itself.
They not become religious.
Yes! You have to understand that if you just say what's the juice of it, right? If you want to get to the point of saying, I don't want them to work on Chol HaMoed, don't leave out Shabbat. Don't leave out Yom Tov, only because this man left out Shabbat and Yom Tov, it came out to be that what? That his great-grandchildren were already working. Yes, Chol HaMoed, they're closed. They go on vacation during that time. But Shabbat and Yom Tov, they're Mechalel, Lekatchila, they're open. Who would know it would go that far? Let's do these laws inside so we get to the point of covering them the right way. We are going to start them as Bezat Hashem. We will start now and we'll try to cover as much as we can. We have the following halachot. You're not allowed to have laughter, kalut rosh, doing things that lightheaded. The chamisya coming to saying, acting like a little bit foolish. It's not, you're not allowed to say things to her that that normally would bring close to a point of having, arousing one's feelings towards one another. Don't do these things. These things are not good. But things that pertain to, let's say, to the house, the needs of the house, this has to be taken care of. That, of course, he has to speak with her. Of course, also very, very well known that doesn't mean that now that it's time of separation, can't talk much to you. No.
Didn't you just say
you have to stay normal.
Comment on her dad?
We were getting there. We're getting there. It says over here specifically, listen to this. Tzarich ledaber ima benachat. You have to speak with her calmly. Ligrom lana nachat ruach. To make things feel very comfortable. But you have to be very careful. You shouldn't have the words of chiba. You shouldn't arouse one another. You shouldn't have any kalut rosh. That should come to the point of arousing one another and coming to the point of, doing things that are improper. These are things that a person could do with his mouth. Saying things that would arouse her. Arouse one's feelings. He says it's a mitzvah and it's permissible to go ahead and teach her the laws of nidah during time of separation. Go over to her and say, it's that time that that you study and that you have this, you're doing Shiva Nekiyim, you're doing the 5 plus 7. I would want to review with you very fast, shortly, with the certain halachot that I learned the interesting halakha, I would want to review it with you. And say what halakha, for example, how to do the bidikot properly, the internal exams. It's only important. Also, you have to say that make sure that if there are any stains that we find, we have to make sure that those stains are addressed to properly, so we don't miss out on things.
Rav, you can only talk to your wife about this stuff.
Of course, who else?
Tarat Mishpacha.
Tarat Mishpacha, keep it between you and your wife.
Let's say a married guy has never heard of this stuff.
Oh, you could go over to him and say, "I learned in the class," and point out things to him. Sure. It's considered to be that you are saving him from Averot. You're supposed to do that.
Yeah, we gotta be careful.
But they could try to do it
inside out because you don't.
Okay, so you open the book and say, let's do it together.
Like one guy, he already has 5 kids and he's not planning to have kids anymore, but now he wants to learn Tarat Mishpacha.
He has to learn Tarat Mishpacha.
He doesn't have kids anymore.
Listen to me. Even if he has no kids, once he learns Tarat Mishpacha, he'll have more kids.
He has kids already. He just wants
But he lives with his wife still.
Absolutely.
So that's the point.
A young couple.
Nothing to do with having children or not. Nothing to do with having children at all. It's not that he has children, he has to be extra careful in trying to learn to give Tarat Mishpacha if he wants those children to be all healthy and everything should be well. Let us proceed further. Now, we don't have to tell you that obviously that we don't kiss, we don't hug. Also, people have to know that you have to be careful, that you shouldn't even do an air kiss. Right? These things are not, we don't do these things either.
Wow.
Like when you go to a baby, you say, you're delicious,
What
yum.
do you talk about? What do you
Right? You don't say, delicious, like, yum.
What's left?
What?
What's left to talk about?
Allah, don't worry, we're getting there. Another one. He says, also, very important, that you don't come to a point of, let's say, the wife is holding a baby, right? And you go over and you kiss the baby. Mwah! Because the wife, first of all, when you kiss the baby and the baby moves, she feels that motion that you cause the baby to move. So it's your indirect touch. It's called indirect touch. It's not allowed to. Not allowed to. A lot of people, I heard stories. Pillow fights. Throwing, you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. Some people, I tell you, they come and they say, they take a, what's his name? They take a fan. Yeah, they take a fan. She feels hot. So he goes like this to her. Not supposed to. She goes like this to him. And he feels the air that she causes. It's indirect, not allowed to. It's not done, huh? No. Throwing a pillow, you're not supposed to. Because it's your koach that you threw it at her. You're not allowed to throw things at her directly. Well, for example, you want to throw an object to her. Say, you know what? Catch the key here. You're not done. You're not allowed to throw. You put it down.
Can you throw it at her?
Huh? No, we never upset the wife. Let's go further. Anyhow. Another one. Okay. He says like this. Also, very important to know that there are games. If it's during the time of separation, you're supposed to know that many games are permitted to play. But it has to be a type of game where you're not going to come to a point of passing things over to one another. Like to play cards. You want to play chilik, or let's say you want to play, I don't know, all types of games. You want to play cards, something. Some kind of game. Huh?
Cards, you do pass it.
No, you don't. You put it on the table. Huh? Some people say advisable shouldn't play cards, but let me tell you something. If it's a game that you could sit down and play with your kid and spend time with him this way, there's nothing wrong with that. Let's go further. War, yes. Now, as long as there's no chashash that you're going to actually come to a point of passing things to one another, touching each other or arousing one another, right? Not supposed to. Another one. He says also, if there are certain things that they know that come to a point of arousing one another, they have to know to abstain. Another one is the following. It says, let's say a husband, he sees that his wife, she did something very, 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 what's the name? Something impressive. He's not allowed to tell her divrei chibah. He's not allowed to say, oh, I love you, you're the best. Not supposed to do that. Abstain. Another one, you should not say. There are people that they say these things. Brought down an example over here. He says, if not the fact, that if only you be permitted to me, then I will do this and this and this. Right? Things that he would normally do, right? When they are permitted to one another. Okay? Next one. He says another one. Let's say, he says, he gives here, however, he says, Aaron, you asked me about this one. He says, if the husband sees that the wife is wearing a clothing material, right? Clothing, a dress, a skirt, a top, or whatever she has, a sweater, is something beautiful, something very pleasing. He says, there's no isul minadin to praise and to say something nice. Okay, you should say, this sweater goes on you very nicely.
But I cannot say I love you. But
you cannot say I love you.
No, you tell her that. I cannot say I love you, but you know that.
Yeah, let's go further. Thank you. That's also not allowed to be done. Why? He says, Mahmir Tawalabra, please don't look for this kind of khubla. Like you have to stay normal. Next one. Next one.
What is
please wait. Please wait. Next one. He says, let's say another one. He says, a person wants to come, his wife, it's preferable that the wife should abstain from putting any perfume on herself during the times of that they're not permitted for one another. When they're permitted,
Everybody should have different ones.
Huh?
You should have different ones.
I don't know about different, not different. If it's something that would arouse and make him, say, she smells good, that's not supposed to be done. She's not supposed to arouse her husband. Preferable not to do this thing. So he says, let's say the wife is wearing perfume. Something small, not something crazy. I'm not talking about, you should know, if there's a type of perfume, right, that she puts on, and the whole street smells her, that is not, that's too far. This is not even archakot. This is not normal, not supposed to be that way. But let's say she has a normal perfume that she puts a little bit, just to have to smell good. As the Rabbi Miller used to say, there's 3 things women must have in their qualities. What are they? No, 3 things women must have. They must
Smell.
look good, smell good, and not talk too much. Right? 3 things. Look good, smell good, not talk too much. So they have to smell good. Right? So but when they smell good, the husband has to make sure that he doesn't come to the point of, she smells good, right? The time of nidut, it's not supposed to be this way.
Can the guy
Okay?
smell good, Rob?
Next one.
Can the guy smell good?
The guy should smell normal, yes. He should take a shower once a week. Let's go further. It says the following. You remind me of the story, how there was a story. A guy came complaining to the rabbi. He says, Rabbi, please, the Bahulei Yeshiva, speak to them. The smell is too far, very bad. The rabbi gave a clap on the table. The boys gathered around and says, boys, you must make sure your tzitzit are always good, clean looking, and very neat, always at all times. And please don't forget to take a shower once in 2 weeks. Let's go further. Okay. Next one. He says like this. He says, if let's say
Once in 2 weeks.
he says, let's say there's a perfume that she wears, and it's on the table. You're allowed to take the perfume and smell it. It's not on her. The whole problem is smelling it while it's on her. But if it's not, huh?
What is gonna get
It's
excited?
not. You have to be normal.
Like
Let's
when
go
you
further.
take a cold
You have to
back
be
to-
normal.
No, he's
No,
not
but if the
looking
clothing
at
is
her.
not on her, you're allowed to touch it.
And smell.
And you're allowed to smell it too. There's nothing wrong
Are
with
you allowed to
that.
lay on her bed if she's
Huh?
not there?
No, we will talk about laying down on her bed. We're not getting that far.
What
Slow
about sitting
down.
on the bed?
We were getting there. Yaakov, please have
not?
patience. Have patience. We will talk about all the details. We'll explain. Let's proceed further. Now, he says, let's say a wife also, she has the besamim, right? By the time of Havdalah. She's holding the besamim. She can't bring it to him for him to smell it. It's not done. She should pull it down. He should take it and smell it. Also, when she's holding the candle, right? Let's say she's holding the candle where the fire is burning for by Havdalah, Motzei Shabbat. She should put down the candle. Because what would normally is, usually the husband, he takes the candle and he puts the wine on it, right? To extinguish it. He says this also comes to the point of taking things directly from her hands. Not allowed to. It's always better to have a plate
She put the
where
candle
she
on
could
the plate and you pour
put
the
it on the. She puts it on the plate and you pour.
No, like she's extinguishing it and you're pouring the wine at the same time.
Does she always have to put something on the side further away from you? Something like that?
We will talk about that soon. It's coming
No,
out.
no.
It's coming out. You're gonna understand this. If it's gonna be by a certain concept that it's applicable, we'll talk about it soon. 1 second. Next one. He says the following. Okay, we did this. Oh, what about let's say he wants to light up, he wants to smoke a cigarette, right? And she is holding the lighter for him, or she lit a match for him. No good. Or let's say she's holding a cigarette, right, to his cigarette, and the guy is trying to get, well, no good. She could put down the cigarette on the thing, he take it, right? Do whatever he has to do, and then put the cigarette down. She take it and smoke if they smoke together. But Hashem Yilachem, none of this should be done. This is to my human understanding that smoking. Okay, although you should know, I knew a very frum family. The husband never took a cigarette in his hand in his life, and the wife was a chimney. Let's go further. Okay, next one.
Passing the baby?
Well, okay. Now another one. He says like this. He says that he brings down over here the besamim of Havdalah. He says on Motzei Shabbat. It says a husband. It says she should put it near him, right? Here, mutar lo. I'll say it as is. He has this kula. It's better, preferable that she should pull it down. He should take it and smell it. But let's say she's holding the besamim, right? That's not her besamim. That's besamim shel mitzvah. She can hold it and he could smell it. It's not a problem. That shouldn't be. Mikadin, he says, it's not a problem at all. But always better off pull it down and he should take it. And he says, better if the woman puts it down. Put it down. Abstain. Stay away from the problem. Next one. We have another one. Okay, we did that. Next halakha. He says, let's say, I give you another case. A woman, right? Or a husband. There's a feather on his jacket, a feather on her sweater. There is hair, right, which already fell out. And you cannot take it and remove it. You can't even go try to blow it off. That's not done either. No good. You could say, honey, please, there's something on your sweater in the back. I just want to point out this to you because I'm sure that you wouldn't want to go out this way. That's the only reason why I'm telling it to you. So there's a feather on you, or there's a hair that's there. You brushed your hair probably, that's why it's there. So better off take it off. Okay, that's how to do it. Okay, another one. Okay, this we did. Now, what about turning a fan to one another? Let's say the fan is working, right? And you ask her, please, can you please turn the fan in my direction? That's not a problem. The problem's going to be is when she goes directly on him and she goes like this to him. Right? That we said is not done. Next one. He says, this is a very important one. A husband is permitted to give his wife a gift during the times of nidut. He can give her, he should give her a present. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay? You're allowed to bring flowers for Shabbat. It's also for Shabbat. Especially remember for Kavod Aisha, for the honor of the woman, you should give her presents. By the way, it says, don't forget, it says, women can do the same for their husbands. Give them presents too. Okay, let's go further. We are up to touching and passing things from one hand to another. B'ezrat Hashem, we will do this next time.